The illusion of visibility. Why Black businesses need infrastructure, not just spotlights. Good evening, everyone. I stand before you today profoundly moved and transformed by a recent conversation that has fundamentally shifted how I think about economic empowerment in America. I had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Wallace Bay, a visionary leader whose work has quietly revolutionized how we approach Black entrepreneurship across this nation. Wallace isn't just a business advocate, he's an architect of sustainable economic ecosystems that have lifted thousands of Black entrepreneurs from survival to success. His groundbreaking approaches have influenced policy at state and local levels, created pathways to millions in contracts, and most importantly, built the invisible infrastructure that turns fleeting opportunity into lasting prosperity. What makes Wallace truly exceptional is his ability to see beyond the obvious, to recognize that the most celebrated solutions are often the least effective. Tonight, I want to challenge everything you think you know about supporting Black businesses. I want to disrupt the comfortable narrative we've all embraced and expose a counterintuitive truth that Wallace Bay revealed to me. Visibility without infrastructure is not just insufficient, it can be destructive. Let that sink in for a moment. The very thing we celebrate, the highlighting, featuring, and spotlighting of Black businesses, might actually be setting them up for failure when we stop there. We live in an era where Black owned businesses enjoy unprecedented visibility. We have Black business directories, dedicated shopping days, corporate pledges, and social media campaigns urging consumers to buy Black. This visibility matters. It absolutely matters. But here's the jarring reality Wallace Bay forced me to confront. Despite this heightened visibility, the vast majority of Black owned businesses in America remain sole proprietorships without employees, struggling to scale beyond survival. Think about what that means. We're putting businesses in the spotlight without ensuring they have the foundation to handle the exposure. It's like inviting someone to perform on the world's biggest stage without providing music lessons, quality instruments, or even a place to practice. The spotlight becomes a burden rather than an opportunity. Imagine being a small Black owned bakery suddenly featured on a national platform. Orders flood in, more than you can possibly fulfill with your current capacity. You don't have systems to manage inventory, staff to meet demand, or capital to scale quickly. What should be your big break becomes your breaking point. The visibility that was meant to elevate you now threatens to destroy everything you've built. This isn't hypothetical. This is happening right now. Across America, Wallace Bay shared with me the story of the African American Chamber of Commerce in the tri state area, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. As they prepared their members for major economic opportunities tied to the 2026 influx of tourists, they discovered a devastating reality. Most member businesses were sole proprietorships, completely lacking this back office infrastructure necessary to compete for larger contracts. These weren't businesses failing from lack of talent or dedication. These were passionate entrepreneurs who simply didn't have accounting departments, HR professionals, legal teams, or marketing specialists. Without this infrastructure, how could they possibly compete for significant contracts? How could they scale to meet new demand? The Chamber's response was brilliant and transformative. They didn't just highlight these businesses, they built the infrastructure around them. They established a comprehensive back office support system, connecting members with accountants, attorneys, HR professionals, and marketers. They advocated relentlessly for more inclusive local government contracting opportunities. The results were staggering. Members gained access to critical resources they couldn't afford individually. They improved their ability to meet compliance requirements and dramatically increased their competitiveness for government contracts. The Chamber helped secure record numbers of contracts for Black owned businesses and influenced state budgets to include dedicated support. This initiative has strengthened the entire regional Black business ecosystem and highlighted something crucial that Wallace Bay emphasized during our conversation. Infrastructure, not just visibility, creates the foundation for sustainable success. Maryland offers another powerful example of this principle in action. Under Governor Wes Moore, the state government prioritized increasing contracting opportunities for Black owned businesses. But they didn't just set targets and hope for the best. They recognized the systemic barriers Black entrepreneurs faced: lack of awareness, limited relationships with decision makers, and insufficient administrative support. The state government allocated specific budget lines for Black business support and streamlined the application process for contracts while collaborating with business chambers to increase outreach. The results were transformative. More Black owned businesses successfully secure state contracts, resulting in increased revenue, job creation, and broader participation in the state's economic growth. Historically, state contracting processes favored established larger firms, but advocacy from business chambers and direct engagement with policymakers shifted priorities toward equity and inclusion. Maryland set a new record for the number of contracts awarded to Black owned businesses, demonstrating measurable progress in economic equity. The policy changes have become a model for other states seeking to close opportunity gaps and foster diverse economic growth. As Wallace Bay emphasized, this demonstrates how targeted policy and infrastructure building can drive tangible results for Black entrepreneurs. A third example Wallace shared reveals the power of community driven solutions. The Black Professionals Network in Los Angeles launched the BPM Business Draft Class of 2025 inches during Black Business Month. They recognized that Black entrepreneurs in LA often lack access to networks, mentorship, and capital, limiting their ability to scale and gain visibility in a competitive market. Instead of simply showcasing these businesses, BPN created infrastructure around them. They curated a cohort program providing mentorship, business development workshops, and public recognition, creating a pipeline for both visibility and opportunity. Participants gained valuable connections, increased their business acumen, and received new opportunities for funding and partnership. BPN was established specifically to address the isolation and fragmentation experienced by Black professionals and entrepreneurs in the region. The inaugural cohort set a precedent for ongoing support and collaboration, with several members reporting increased revenue and new contracts as a direct result of the program. The initiative fostered something even more valuable than immediate business success. It created community, empowered new leaders, and contributed to a more inclusive business environment in Los Angeles. This is what Wallace Bay means when he talks about infrastructure, not just systems and resources, but networks and relationships that sustain growth. Now, you might be wondering, why should this matter to all of us, regardless of our background or profession? It matters because economic inclusion is not just a moral imperative, it's an economic one. When we limit the potential of any segment of our population, we limit our collective prosperity. The data is clear. Diverse economies are more resilient, more innovative, and more sustainable. But there's something deeper at work here, too. The way we approach Black business development reflects our understanding of how systems work or don't work for everyone. The lessons from Wallace Bay's work apply broadly to how we think about creating opportunity in any context. We often fall into the trap of believing that simply making something visible is enough to change it. We highlight problems without building solutions. We celebrate representation without ensuring access to resources. We announce initiatives without creating the infrastructure to sustain them. This pattern shows up everywhere in education, healthcare, environmental justice, and beyond. We mistake awareness for action, visibility for infrastructure. So, what can we do differently? First, we need to shift our thinking from visibility to infrastructure. Instead of asking, how can we highlight Black businesses? We should ask, what systems, resources, and networks do Black entrepreneurs need to thrive once they are visible? Second, we must recognize that local action matters. While national policies are important, Wallace Bay's examples show that some of the most effective solutions emerge at the local level, where communities understand their specific needs and can advocate directly with decision makers. Third, we need to embrace the power of community driven solutions. The most successful initiatives Wallace shared weren't top down mandates, but collaborative efforts that centered the voices and needs of the entrepreneurs themselves. I want to leave you with this challenge today. What if we completely reimagined how we support Black businesses? What if instead of just saying buy Black, we asked, how can we help Black businesses scale to meet demand? What if instead of creating more directories, we created more infrastructure? What if we measured success not by visibility, but by sustainability? The time for symbolic gestures has passed. The moment calls for structural change. And that change begins with each of us questioning our assumptions about what true support looks like. So I ask you, how will you leverage your resources, networks, and influence, no matter how limited they may seem, to help create the infrastructure and opportunities that Black professionals and entrepreneurs need to thrive? How will you move beyond visibility to build something that lasts? Because when we build infrastructure alongside visibility, we don't just change businesses, we transform communities, economies, and ultimately the future we all share. Thank you.